Don't call me senor. I'm not a Spanish person. You must call me Mr. Biggles, or Group Captain Biggles, or Mary Biggles if I'm dressed as my wife, but never senor. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Stench of Truth. Well, the election's over and everybody knows the results. Obama was elected in anything but a landslide, anything but a huge mandate. I think he was elected only insofar as there wasn't a sufficient clarion call for third-party candidates this year, with very little in the way of publicity for them, and a completely lackluster, pointless, ridiculous candidate on the Republican side. They're running against him. So he's the anointed one, the Messiah, the promised one, the future, etc. ad infinitum. So there you have it. In light of the election, there are a few things to go over. One is that Obama has chosen a rampant Zionist as his Chief of Staff for the White House, one Rahm Emmanuel. And this person will clearly show the disposition of the Obama White House when it comes to Israeli foreign policy. Which means that we will continue to be a toady for Israel, which should make a lot of conservatives and a lot of Zionist Jews in this country very happy that we're going to continue footing the bill and doing whatever we can to advance the state of Israel at the expense of the Palestinians and Mideast peace. Various parties have been put forward for key positions, including most notably John Kerry as Secretary of State. I don't know why it shouldn't be a fucking joke for everybody to even have Barack Obama have on his short list for Secretary of State John Kerry, a skull and bones man, someone from extreme moneyed elite and the Eastern establishment and the very corridors of fucking power where George Bush comes from as one of his key players in his administration, that being Secretary of State. If that doesn't cause you to just about fucking puke, I don't know what would. Let's just consider what is to come and what we're going to be looking forward to with the blessed, sainted Obama the Messiah now as the president-elect. Well, we have a continued presence in Iraq because, contrary to what his initial campaign stated in a phased withdrawal and a timeline for withdrawal of troops, he is now pretty much exactly the same as John McCain and believes the troops should stay there as long as possible in order to maintain the integrity of Iraq and the safety of our troops. So, number one, Iraq War. Fuck you, everybody who voted for me because you wanted me to end the war. We're going to see more confrontation with Russia because, as you know, as I've pointed out to you, and as you probably know from your own research, Zbigniew Brzezinski is one of his chief foreign policy advisors, and he is a Russophobe, and in that he is a Russophobe, we will continue to see foreign policy move in a direction of Russia containment and Russia confrontation. This will lead us into other areas of the world where we have no fucking business going, but we will go nonetheless. There has been also talk about moving into Africa as a couple of countries there are degrading into absolute chaos. And Africa, of course, has been a target of Russia and Chinese aid, so this would be a way for us to confront them in a less than direct fashion by moving into Africa. So don't be surprised to see some movement in that area as well. And this will be a perfect way for American imperialist expansion to go on, just like it has under Bush. No change there. So a reining in of American imperialist aggression. If you voted for Obama for that reason, fuck you too. In light of Charles Schumer's comments on how, because the government does regulate some forms of speech, namely pornography, that one's freedom of speech should be regulated. So speech should be regulated because it is comparable to pornography. That combined with the fairness doctrine means that you will not be able to say or do what's on your mind unless there is an opposing viewpoint, and if none is forthcoming, then your mouth needs to be shut.